February, meet Leo, Leo sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. This is a 2-week reading for all you Leos. We are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Delene. Moderating on Twitch is the lovely Shirley. Thank you so much, Delene. Thank you so much, Shirley. And thank you to everybody for joining us today. I hope you guys are doing great, and we'll get going right now with this 2-week reading for all Leos, sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. Starting out with a 3 of swords, followed by a 5 of coins, and then we have the star card. So what this is telling me, Leo, is that with this 3 of swords, you've been dealing with some loss. You've been dealing with some pain. It's been significant. And this isn't something that you should expect yourself to just get over, and other people may not understand the depths to which you've been feeling this pain. And what you don't want to do is allow this to start to affect your health and affect your finances and affect things. Okay, you've been dealing with some pain. It's been hard, but what you don't want is to let it be the star of your show, the star of your movie. And so the star card is here, is telling you that there is help available, that you can get grace, you can get healing, and you can even undo your mistakes from the past. There's mistakes in the past that you've, maybe been punishing yourself for that is not necessary. And the star goddess is saying, wait a minute, everybody makes mistakes, Leo, including you, and you don't need to punish yourself if you made a mistake, even subliminally. And you don't need to allow yourself to kind of destroy some of the things in your life that you've been working so hard over because you can't get past whatever this was. And so it's saying, just let me in. She's saying, let me in. I can handle this for you. I can handle this for you. And so that star goddess energy, I have a lecture on the star goddess somewhere, I think, and we do have a meditation on the star goddess should you want to listen to it, that might be a way to sort of optimize the strengths of this card for you. The name of that meditation, before I forget, is called Receiving the Divine Grace of the Star Goddess, and you can find the link to all the tarot meditations in the video description of this video on my YouTube channel. But it's saying that where you're sort of kind of centered right now is in sort of a punishment phase, where you're feeling either bad about yourself, or you're doing the opposite of that, where instead of, because you don't want to feel bad about yourself, so you're going to project that onto other people. It doesn't matter which side of that cycle you're on, because each one of them is kind of, disastrous. It can be very injurious to you, to your health, to your finances, or to other things in your life. And there's no reason for it. It's saying you don't need to go through that. What you need is healing. What you need is compassion. What you need is kindness, both toward yourself and from the universe. And that kindness and compassion is there for you, but you must let it in. And that star goddess card is, well, you can see what she's doing. You can look at this as your deep mind, and she's just pouring in grace, pouring in forgiveness, pouring in healing, pouring in love. And you can think of the star goddess as the love of a mother for her child. So if a mortal mother can love their child sometimes some mortal mothers love their children in a way that's supernatural, how they can just their love is transcendent. Imagine what the perfect mother is like. And that's what you have available to you, is all of that love, all of that compassion, all of that healing, and can undo any consequences from your past. Just like if you've got knots and tangles and you're like, there's no way out of this, she says, yeah, there is. I've got this. She can just take care of it for you and untangle all that stuff for you. And so it's a wonderful realization that this compassionate power is there and available to you. But again, like anything else, it can't come in unbidden. It's not going to attack you. But if you ask for it, and you don't have to call it the star goddess, you don't have to call it the goddess or the Shekinah or any of that. You can call it the Holy Spirit. You can call it your higher self. Whatever you want to call her, she's fine with it. She's not real picky about names. But if you do call her or it into yourself and ask to be released and ask for that grace and ask for that healing and then allow it to happen, then not only does this pain start to subside, but the decisions that you made based on the pain that aren't working for you, they get undone. This is that Tower card. Boy, it sucked, whatever that was for a lot of you. It was really awful. It was really not good. Ultimately, good is coming out of it, but it was not fun to go through. No, and don't let anybody try to minimize or discount the pain that many of you have gone through, right? For some of you, this is something recent, and others of you, this is ancient pain that's just starting to that's wanting to get healed. And so when it wants to get healed, it comes up. When it comes up, if the ego mind gets a hold of it, it tries to distract you from it. It tries to distract you from what it is, and it'll project it onto something else and project it onto something else because the ego wants anything but you to get healed. But the star goddess isn't subject to your ego. It doesn't make any difference to her. So ego or no ego, projection or no projection, if you ask for release and deliverance from this, it will be given to you, and you just have to let it in. Look at this. Look at what's on top of this, of these consequences. And then we've got this 4 here. So what's on top of these consequences is the grace of the star goddess. You see, she is, you can look at this Ace of Cups as being filled to the brim with her and her grace that's overflowing onto any problems. Another way to look at this is how we looked at it in the general reading as an empty cup, that you're going to let go of all your ideas about this, whatever this is, completely, and ask her to fill you up. You're going to let go of all of what you're doing and let her do it instead, because what you're doing isn't working. And that's nothing to feel guilty about, because you're doing your best. But sometimes our best is just not good enough. And that's really kind of an insulting thing to the Leo, well, to all people, but I didn't mean to the Leo, to the ego. It's insulting to the ego to know that it can't do everything. And but it's a relief to the spirit. It's a relief to us to know, oh, I can't do everything. I'm not responsible for this. I don't know how to fix this. Ugh, I'm off the hook. And then you can call in that power that is responsible, that does know how, that can do it for you and allow it to happen. Now, that's not to say that you just sit around eating bonbons and, get to work, spirit. It's not that. It's just that when you're coming from that empty rice bowl mentality, please fill me up with your grace, then you are guided and led in the moment as to what you should do. You'll get told, you'll get the instruction, go here, go there, do this, do that, stop doing that, do this, do that. But it's coming from spirit, not coming from you. Not coming from, I better do this, I better do that, oh, I got to figure this out, I think I should go there. That's when you get into all this 5 of coins stuff, which ends up being poverty thinking and lack thinking and disease and all of those things that you don't want, right? So when we react to pain, we get what we get. But if we ask what to do about pain, then the star goddess can come in and help us respond to it. So this is how I deal with this, or I try to deal with this, or sometimes in a belated way, I will deal with this when it comes up for me. I say, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what anything means, especially not whatever this is. So I don't have any idea of what to do about it. I can't, I don't know. Now, right there, when I say that, it nullifies the ego response that wants to keep me perpetuating in the problem, because the ego says, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then we say, okay, better do this, better do that. And then we get mired in the problem. But if we just put the brakes on and we say, I don't know about this. I don't know what any of this is. I think I know, but I don't. I don't know anything. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what this means. But there is a power that does know. And I'm inviting that power in to do it on my behalf. Now, you see, she'll never decide against you. This loving mother will never say, will never want to condemn you, will never want to punish you, will never want to do anything but love you and get you to remember who you are as this divine child of the infinite. And since that's true, you can trust that her decision is pure. We, on the other hand, constantly want to decide against ourselves. We constantly want to abuse ourselves. We constantly want to make ourselves have problems and more problems and punishments and all kinds of things. And we don't necessarily want to believe that that's true, but it is true. If we just look and we just take a rational look through our lives, how many times we've decided against ourselves. It's not another reason to feel guilty. It's just how the human condition is. But the good news is that when we know that going in, if we know that from the gate, I don't know what to do. And I know that if left to my own devices, I'm going to probably do something that's not for my highest good. But I don't want to do that anymore. Therefore, I'm going to call in this higher power, what I'm calling the star goddess. And I'm going to ask her to decide for me and to tell me what I should do. And then I'm going to follow her direction. That's a real immediate shift into a whole new set of manifestations for us when we do that. Because what it does is it destroys that chain reaction that the ego has so ingeniously put into play. And if we just keep letting that chain reaction go, it's just going to get to its final destination, which is one more piece of destruction for us, one more way that we can hate ourselves, one more way that we can be in pain, one more way that we can prove to ourselves how sucky we are and the world is and bad everything is. But if we say, wait a minute, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make a decision all by myself. I'm going to ask that some higher power come in and decide for me. The higher power that will never decide against me, that only wants me to be happy, that only wants my good, that loves me more than any mortal mother could ever love a child. Once we do that, then we have completely restructured our thought process, and our thought process is the catalyst for manifestation, because everything in our lives is a projection of our minds. So if we are now saying, I'm going to take charge of my mind by not letting my ego mind respond and react to this stuff, I'm going to call on that higher power, then a whole new thought system comes in, and therefore new manifestations start to take place for us. And this is exactly what we're being called on to do in this reading. Now, one more thing, this Four of Swords is saying your best response to everything is withdrawal, is disengagement. Your best response, if you have any fear, any conflict, any need to react, your first response is wait. Second response is ask. Next response is do what you're told to do. But you don't just react on your own. You ask and wait, and then you do what you're being told to do. Sometimes you don't have to do anything. I've had many situations in this kind of a experience with myself. I'm out speaking the music, but we'll just keep going because I need to say this, where I've done exactly what I told you to do, and I didn't have to do a thing. The whole thing got resolved all by itself. I can't tell you how many times that's happened for me, and it can happen for you too. So just take heed of what this reading is telling you, that we don't want to discount what's gone on for you, and we don't want to minimize it. That's the first thing. But we also don't want to react to it anymore. We want to say, I don't know. Ask for help And then ask that star goddess undo the consequences of all of these things and restructure your thinking so that you can have those new manifestations. You're going to do great. And I'm sorry for everything that you've been going through. And you're doing great, but you can continue to do great by not thinking that it's up to you anymore. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the amazing moderators today. We had Delene and Shirley, and we will see everybody in 2 weeks. Thanks so much, Leo. Blessed be.